All right, dude, I finally get it right. Am I finally live here? I'm not sure. It's not showing it on my phone. Bear with us, guys, just 1 second. Let's get a few people in here. Let me see if it'll show me actually being live. Not sure what's taking so long. This is far more delay. All right, there we go. All right, now we're live. Thanks, everybody who is here, all two of you. I guessed it. I had to hit live on the actual YouTube as well as OBS. Never done this before. This is the first live. We're going to be deep diving all kinds of different stuff. But before I get too far into it, let's get a couple of people in here. And let's just talk about it. So what is the point of this show? I'm really excited to actually do this underground deep dive show. This has been the point of the channel. I have been making pre-recorded videos on different projects and even some news and some reels, but I really feel like this whole live show is really what this channel is meant to be about. It's meant to be about deep diving together as a community, people in the comments dropping different things for us to look at. Always good to remind you guys, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. What we do here is research. We will look at a lot of different things, and by no means am I endorsing any. If I like any of them personally, I can tell you that. I can tell you what I'm doing, but I can't give you any financial advice. Anyways, with that out of the way, really looking forward to getting the Discord running and having everybody able to drop their comments and talk about what they want to talk about in there and building this community. But every day we're going to do a deep dive show. We're probably going to start with what is trending. Not so much news. Maybe we'll throw a little news in there, but really what's trending over on CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, that kind of platform. And then we'll just start deep diving different projects from there. So if you could, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification, make sure you don't miss when I'm going live. It's really interesting. I'm not sure how far behind I am here. Is it 30 seconds? Is it a minute? It almost feels like I'm like a minute behind everybody else. So I'm just going to give it another 2-3 minutes at the most while I kind of talk about what underground crypto is all about. And then we'll actually get into the deep dive. Let's see. Sourced and sold. Can I make you an add as a moderator? All right, sourced and sold. I've made you a moderator. And so, first live stream ever. I don't expect to have a lot of trolls, but if we do, feel free to block them. The commenting, I might be late for you. I'm not sure. I can definitely see what I'm streaming, and from my movements, I can tell it's a little bit behind, but that's okay. I'll have to get used to that. And yeah, so I started this channel. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about why I started this channel. So I was spending a lot of time deep diving projects, looking into what to invest in back in what we would call the bear market, back when everything really was very unexciting, I guess you could say. And we were just, well, mostly me, was just deep diving. I had a couple of friends. We were looking at things as well. But for the most part, we were all just deep diving coins and stuff. And we would just really realize that we didn't have enough time in our day to be a part of every community, right? Can't be in the middle of every community, every ecosystem, every Discord, and be all these different places at once, and we miss a lot of opportunities. So I thought, why not start a YouTube channel where I deep dive coins, and I just record it. I'm already doing it anyways. I'm already doing it for hours a day anyways. And I started with just simple screen recordings. Definitely didn't have anything fancy, didn't have my face down in the corner, nothing like that. So you could see me, and it was just a screen recording. But we talked about small projects and tried to catch them before they really took off. Well, gotten a little bit more fancy with some of the stuff here. Got a good webcam and all of that stuff, and we've just been steady moving up. So this live stream, this first live stream, is really important to me because this kind of marks the beginning of my channel, in my opinion. Even though I've had the channel, I've been making videos, to me this is really the beginning of my channel. And we're going to be doing this live stream Monday through Friday. We might do some weekend live streams, but I'm going to commit to the Monday through Friday for right now. I do have a lot of other stuff going on in my life, but I'm going to commit to Monday through Friday, and we're going to get into these deep dives. I see we got 4 viewers in here. Let's go ahead and see if we can't move this ball rolling to CoinGecko and actually start getting into deep dive in some of these projects and coins. Now, I do want to say, disclaimer, this is the first live stream if that wasn't apparent. There's probably going to be some hiccups. There's probably going to be some things that are not as good as they could be. All right, let's go ahead, move our scenes here, and let's see what that looks like. All right, we're over here on CoinGecko. And this is where I think we're going to start every day. Let's go ahead and refresh it, of course, so that we can see what we got going on here. So Bitcoin coming down, trending down, of course, at 113.9 thousand. 113,000, really almost 114,000. Ethereum sitting at 3,594, almost 3,600. XRP at $2.95, almost $3. And Tether at 0.999, right? Good to see BNB at 754. I really wish I would have held a little more of that. I've bought plenty of it over the years to use in the smart contract, to use in the smart chain. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, but I didn't hold on to any of it. I burned a lot of it. Solana at 183. And we probably won't go too much farther than that. What I really want to do is come over here to trending. What do we got trending for today? So let's see what coins you should know and which coins you probably don't know. So not coin is ton backwards. The ticker NOTTON. So it's actually ton backwards. I'm pretty sure it's the biggest meme coin on ton ecosystem. Can correct me on that. Mantra is a big project. It's done some significant numbers. Everything's going to look pretty red right now because the market's pulling back. Dogs, if I remember what that is, that should be on the Ton network as well. Let's check that out. I'm not sure if it is. And I was right. It is on the Ton ecosystem. All right. And it's got 66.8 million dollars in market cap, so that's pretty cool. Let's check out their website, or they might not have a website. It might just be a Telegram thing. A lot of times it'll be like that. So you can follow me, Crypto Ron with the blue check mark, over on Twitter, and that is @_ ground crypto, because underground crypto was taken. I remember when this Dogs coin came out. It says Dogs meme coin. Join the Telegram narrative meme coin community. And like any meme coin, it's all about artwork, community, narrative. I haven't really heard a lot about this since, Ton coin was really pumping back in the day. We're not going to go too far into that one because the fact that they don't really have a website that's up. So this was interesting. This Prove, PROVE, is the ticker. It's dangerous territory. Trying to say what that says. I don't know what that is. So I've never heard of this project. So I think that this is probably a good place to start our deep dives, right? So if we come over and we look at this thing on the 3-month, it's down 28%. Let's go to the year. Let's see, when did this thing actually come out? Oh, August 5th. So this thing came out today. before we even bother looking at different time frames, we should see when this thing came out. So it started tracking this coin, looks like, today. So there's no point in looking at the bigger time frames. Might as well look at the 24-hour or the 7-day. And it came out swinging at $1.34. Now, it was probably out somewhere else first. This is when CoinGecko started tracking it, right? Which was, again, today. And it came out at $1.34, and it ran down pretty quickly. It recovered a little bit, and now let's see, it ran all the way down to 61 cents. And then has come all the way back up to where it is now at 96.5 cents with $196.4 million in market cap and 1 billion tokens in its max supply. But the circulating supply is only 195 million, almost 200 million, getting close to that 200 million mark there in supply. So big disparity between your supply and your circulating, your max and your circulating, but that's okay. It's a brand new project. That is super common. Would really love to come over to their website here. Let's take a look at what we got. All right, prove the world software. What is this? Succinct? Not sure how to say that. I don't get to practice those things ahead of time, right? All right, Succinct is a decentralized prover network that makes zero knowledge easy for everyone. There are a lot of words when it comes to blockchain and different ways that different blockchains do blockchain. And so zero knowledge is a term you may or may not know. And I see this prover network, so that means that they probably are using a bit of a different system as well. Let's see if we can get some more information on that. So they got 35 plus partners and $4 billion in TVL secured. That's cool. Says the best team trusts Succinct to power their critical infrastructure, including Polygon, Celestia, Avail, and more. It's pretty cool. Definitely Polygon is good. Celestia is good. I don't know a lot about this AVL, but there are so many cryptocurrency. How many cryptocurrencies are there? There's a lot, and you can't know all of them. That's the point of this community. The infrastructure for proving economy. And this seems like a very technical project, so a lot of this stuff might be a little bit of dry. So maybe we won't spend too much time on it. The world's fastest RISC-V whatever. I don't think anybody knows what that means or cares what that means is what I should say. So you got a SP1 is for developers, and you have the Prover Network, which is a decentralized network to provide, compute, and earn rewards. Succinct makes zero knowledge easy and secure. So from my understanding and off the top of my head, zero knowledge is about validating information on a blockchain without really giving the information fully, right? So they have a way of, with zero knowledge, which is why it's called zero knowledge, to verify the information that they are updating onto the blockchain without really compromising any of the security or what would you call it? Transparency. You know, it's non-transparent. You can't see it. You have zero knowledge of what the information is, the blockchain and the validators. So that is what zero knowledge is all about, from my understanding. Use ZKPs with easy to write, maintainable code for fast development. Proof at light speed. Generate proofs locally or use our prover network with SP1 at peak performance. Now that's starting to make a little bit more sense. A prover network, because they are proving bits of information to be verified, because next comes verify. So write and then prove and then verify. So build with privacy. This is the whole point of zero knowledge. I know I'm being redundant here, but these are more technical things that people might need a moment to really understand. So build with privacy and verifiability anywhere. Verify SP1 proofs on any blockchain, Ethereum, Layer 2s, Solana, mobile, web, and beyond. So this is really infrastructure type stuff. So if you were to speculate, aka invest, not that I'm telling you to, not financial advice, but if you did speculate on this project, you would be speculating on infrastructure that would work through a lot of other projects. It would be interoperable, I guess. I'm used to saying interoperability, but interoperable between different networks. That's things that can work through different networks, right? So you got rollups, compressors, these ZK EVMs, and then, of course, interoperability. Do you guys want me to read what all of those are? Probably not. So this project looks cool. We are in our first live stream here. If you're just hopping in, I don't know how many people are here, but this is our first live stream. We're going to be doing it Monday through Friday. We're going to be deep diving different projects like this one. This is just trending today. I'm not really sure how great of a project it is, and it looks like it just came out today. So it already has $196.4 million in market cap. So it's just pushing up and hitting the big scene. I'm sure it didn't actually come out today, but it started being on the radar of CoinGecko. And let's take a step back, see what else is trending. Let's find us another project to look at here. So we got this MYX Finance. So right there, what is the narrative? We talk about in crypto a lot, and on my channel a lot, narrative, right? So what is the narrative? When you're thinking of speculating on a coin, when you're thinking on investing in a coin, what I do is I think about what is this project category? What is their narrative? What are they trying to solve? What are they trying to do? Right here I see finance. That tells me they're probably in the financial category of things, but that's not meme coins. It's not super sexy to everybody. It's probably not going to get a ton of hype with your everyday person, right? But big investors, people in the stock world, people in the financial realm, they would like this kind of thing. Big money might put money behind this thing if it's a good product. But your average everyday retail is probably not going to be interested in this project, which sometimes can mean a great opportunity that a lot of people are not seeing. With that said, MYX Finance, I don't know anything about it. Number 406 by market cap. Let's move back in time frames and see when they started tracking this coin. So they started tracking this May 5th, 2025. I'm sure it probably didn't come out too much before that. And let's break it down into some smaller time frames. Looks like it was mostly flat for a long time, sitting at 0.09, almost 10 cents, or at 9 cents for like quite some time. And then all of a sudden in the last, looks like mostly 24 hours, this thing started to move. Up 151% in the last 24 hours. Congrats to anybody if you caught this. And we went from 41 cents all the way to $1.05 where we're sitting now. It's got $132 million in market cap, $1 billion in max supply, and circulating supply, 124.7 million tokens in the max supply. Again, another example of a coin that is new and a lot of disparity, a lot of difference between both the max supply and the circulating supply. Max supply is how many coins exist in the entire project for the lifetime of the project, unless they change that at some point. Every project's different. For example, 21 million Bitcoin. There's supposed to always only be 21 million Bitcoin, but from my understanding, if the community got together and decided to have a vote on adding more coins and they voted to add more coins, I guess technically they could do that. Now, circulating supply is only 124.7 million, so the disparity is the difference between it. That's how many are actually out. So when you calculate the price of a coin, it's going to be your market cap divided by how many coins are in circulation, not how many are in your max supply. So keep that in mind with token unlocks. You may hear that a lot. I'm trying to make this very beginner user friendly. So you have token unlocks, bring in more coins into the supply, therefore price is going to change because now you're dividing that market cap by a bigger number of the supply. So that's why with 132 million in market cap, the number in the circulating supply is almost very close to what the market cap is. That's why you're getting $1. Does that make sense? I hope somebody followed that and really understood what I was talking about, because these are the type of things you want to look at. Because if we knew, just pop back here, if we knew that they were going to have a token unlock and they were going to unlock 200 million coins all of a sudden, just say hypothetically, that would tank the price dramatically. Let's hop over to their website. Again, just like a coin that has a narrative or a category of being very technical or infrastructure, financial is just about as dry and boring to the average retail person. That's just honesty right there. Trade alpha, permissionless, where the future of perpetual happens. But the language in a financial project's website, probably going to understand a little bit better. So they have $27.2 million in TVL, APY at 818%. That is a very high APY right there. Those things, a lot of times in my experience of getting into projects like this, that APY starts dropping quickly as more people get into it. MYX airdrop is live, so you can claim some airdrop if you qualify. There are so many things that are not on the up and up. Trying to avoid some words that YouTube doesn't like, that are fraudulent maybe. I don't know if that's a keyword, but airdrops, a lot of times I stay away from them. I'm just going to be honest, unless I am somehow very involved in a community and I actually know that the airdrop is legitimate, but I don't know anything about this, so I would not connect a wallet personally. I know a lot of times people will give the advice that if you're going to farm some airdrops, or you're going to try to get an airdrop or even a free claim off of a crypto project's website, go make a new wallet and claim it from there. And then maybe, send that somewhere else and have a wallet or several different wallets, or make a new wallet every time. Can't really tell you what to do there. That's up to you. And move it to a different, more secure wallet. And don't have your main wallet where all your assets are really connected to a bunch of websites. And if you have a main wallet like a MetaMask or something like that you use for Web3, you're really going to want to go into the connections in your MetaMask and start unconnecting things you don't use all the time, things you just randomly connected to do one thing a long time ago. Disconnect from those. That's just what I would do. So we got slippage, free trading, seamless trading experience, and low fees. Who doesn't love low fees? The perpetual DEX that traders prefer. That is a bold claim. There are so many different DEXs. DEX stands for decentralized exchange, if you don't know. Slippage free, low fee, and seamless trading like no other. And it's fun doing this live because I don't get to retake and I don't get to read it all in advance. That would take forever. So I just get to come in here and just mess words up, right? That's fun. The trusted digital vault. So they have a vault. None of this is really screaming revolutionary to me. They might be problem solving, providing liquidity. They may serve a purpose. I'm not trying to put down this project. I really don't know where they sit in the scheme of all of these different blockchains and liquidity. But from their website and what I see, it pretty much looks like any other decentralized exchange. I want to pop back over. Where were they? Oh, they're on BNB. Okay. So can you name another decentralized exchange on Binance Smart Chain? Anybody? The most popular one that almost everybody knows? All right, I see you, Crypto Keep there. I'll take a look at Cookie Down next. I appreciate you saying that. Where was I? What was my thought? Oh, Pancake Swap. I'll just end with that. That's kind of the end of my rant there. Pancake Swap is the most predominant DEX on Binance Smart Chain that I know of. And another thing, as I move over here to where somebody wanted me to go, to Cookie DAO, we will pull that up. Binance Smart Chain is really where I fell in love with Web3, different Web3 projects, or you could say products. is where I really had a ton of fun over there. I love Mobox. Don't know how well they're doing. I've invested probably too much money over there on their platform, but it is really cool, and I can see how it's the future of gaming and different things. Of course, the development is not at that level yet, but they have a lot of games, a lot of cool stuff. And we will definitely be going over a lot of that cool stuff. All right, for Crypto Keep, we're coming over to Cookie DAO. And I will kind of get into how I feel about Cookie DAO as we go along here, but let's do our normal train of thought. So first thing I always talk about, market cap. You're at $80 million in market cap. Not the biggest market cap. Now, what does that tell you? Not financial advice. I have to keep saying that. This is just my opinion. It tells you that it hasn't really hit the big leagues yet. People have rather pulled out of it. I love that CoinGecko will actually let you flip on the market cap chart, so we could take a little bit of a step back. Let's go to max and see at its height what its market cap was. So yeah, at its height, it was $192.4 million in its market cap. And now, of course, you're sitting at at 80.3 million. So a huge pullback, more than 50%, right? And if you look at this chart from its height, we've pulled back considerably. Is it getting a bit of a double bottom here at the $80 million or slightly under that range? I'm not sure. Let's flip over to price. So it looks like it bottomed here at about 13 cents and it pumped back up to about 15 cents and then is coming back down to test that 13-cent region. This is not a technical analysis show. If you love TA, technical analysis, looking at charts and stuff, go to your YouTube, type in Crypto Lifer. He is the best in the game, in my opinion, when it comes to technical analysis, but also everything crypto and understanding things crypto. Been my mentor for some time. No, he doesn't pay or tell me to say that. I do that of my own free will. He really is the bomb. You should definitely check him out. All right, Cookie. We went over its market cap. Now let's take a look at its max supply. Again, 1 billion tokens and 591.9 million coins in circulation. The disparity, not so big. This coin is not so new. A lot of the coins we looked at earlier were very new. This has been around for some time, right? And let's hit max. When did it come out? Let's take a look at that. July 12th, 2024 is when CoinGecko started tracking it. Now, what is Cookie DAO? I assume if you're asking me about this, Crypto Keep, that you probably know what Cookie DAO is. It is for AI agents. Let's open up their website. And I was very big into crypto agents when they first started coming out. Had a lot of them increase in value, a lot that I speculated on. Of course, the bottom dropped out super fast. I wasn't ready for it, and I am still holding a lot of my crypto agents. Oh, well, it is what it is. I'm sure they'll be worth more at the height of the bull market. Maybe not, though. Maybe AI agents was a fad. Maybe they're not going to come back. I don't know. So when you ask me what my thoughts are on Cookie DAO, I'm not sure yet. I think the technology is there, but is the adoption there? I think that the need for AI agents is there. I think that there's a lot of product that they could provide that would really bring a lot of money into them. But they have to deliver and they have to stay around and people have to care about them in order to put money in them to keep them relevant enough that people keep investing in them. And it's kind of a circular motion. Says, let's see, says, thanks, man. What do you think it will do this cycle? You're looking for a price prediction. We will do that here in just a moment. I'll take us over to the coin perspective and we can play some moon math games and we can decide what we think is reasonable. If you don't know what the coin perspective is a great website. But let's just do real quick, take a look at their website because I haven't really been to their website since I actually did the review of this coin a while ago. I'm just in version 1 alpha here. If you hold Cookie token over a certain amount, I think it's over $10,000 worth of it, then you get access to a lot of other data and stuff. So this is kind of like a data center, kind of like a data hub. Crypto Keep, let me know are you just looking to invest in this coin, or do you actually know about what it does as a product, as a business, or as a function? What is it? You know what it does? Do you go to their website? Do you see that they have, good sentiment, bad sentiment for these different AI agents? And they provide tons of data. Oh, here's this project we looked at earlier, right there. And what do they say about it? Mindshare is a metric that they have that's really interesting that you don't see in a lot of other places. Again, I don't use this all the time, so I'm not a pro at knowing where everything is. They have a social aspect. Let's check that out. I don't know what they mean by social. I know they have like a social score too, which is pretty good. Let's see. Can we open good sentiment and actually take a much bigger look? Real quick, I'm just going to pop over. How many people do we have watching? Current viewers, 6. All right. Shout out to anybody who's here. This is the first live stream. Going to go a little slow because there's not a lot of people here, so just wait for people to draw in. But first live stream, we're going to be doing this Monday through Friday. If you're into really knowing more than just price go up when it comes to crypto, the technology, the market, where it's going, and you want to do research with us on a daily basis, we'll be going live at 8:30 Monday through Friday. It's supposed to do about 45 minutes to an hour. The more people in here, the longer that we will go. Let me check some of these comments here. I invested around the time you mentioned it. I know what they do, and they have huge plans. You are right. They do have huge plans. I'm glad that you have dived deeper than just price goes up, the surface level that most people invest on. So then you don't need me to go over the website as much. And since there's not a lot of people in here, we will go right to the coin perspective and start looking at some market caps, right? And let's determine what we think is reasonable. So what I like to do a lot of times is think what projects are, I guess, similar to Cookie DAO, and then go from there, trying to think of a project that would be real similar to Cookie DAO. It's kind of a new space, so there's really not a lot of similar. Cookie DAO is pretty much the more predominant project in that space. I know that there are some other ones not coming to my mind right now. I did a review of another one, I'm pretty sure. So, of course, the height of all hopium here, if it had the market cap of Bitcoin, this is just purely for fun because obviously it's not getting to the market cap of Bitcoin, but it would be a 28,000x. And price per coin, do they give us that? Yeah, it'd be like 3,800. That's fun. A lot of people like to do that. For me, it doesn't really mean anything because I know that we're not going to that kind of project. Let's find a project. Let's pop back over here. I will get quicker at giving these kind of breakdowns as we do them. So it's got $80 million in market cap. So let's say during the height of this bull run, its market cap could get to, say, $1 billion. That would be $1.60 or a 11x. Not too shabby, an 11x. Now, got to talk a lot about how I see you say Chainlink of AI. Yeah, I do agree with that. An 11x is, to me, a very respectable gain. You got to think about where your mind state is, not financial advice, my opinion. I think about where my mind state is as far as what I'm realistically expecting out of price action in the bull run that I'm in. I don't know if you crypto keep are looking at, say, the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin. Hopefully you are, and you know what I'm talking about. But that cycle is really what I gauge everything by, because we're most likely, as long as we follow the same traditional cycle that we have every 4 years, going to see a height November to December this year. Might move a little bit into 2026, but probably not too far. And if it does what it's supposed to, then it'll drop back down. It'll start a bear market. The prices of everything will pretty much crash for a year. Everybody will pretty much leave the space because it will not be exciting anymore. Unless you're shorting the market and you're a trader or something, retail will pretty much leave. I'm sure you know that. So this thing I don't think has the space unless we're in something like a super cycle, which has been taunted many times, but who knows if that's going to happen. I wouldn't count on it personally. But an 11x to me is really respectable, and I would say $1 billion in market cap is pretty respectable. Let's say it got $2 billion in market cap. Obviously, you would just be doubling everything we just talked about for the most part. 24x from there. $3.37 would be your target at a $2 billion market cap. I don't really see it going farther than a $2 billion market cap, personally. Now, there's that super excited place, blow off top place where at the height of the market say that AI agents are what everybody's talking about. And it could happen because it was really hot when it came out and AI agents were very popular. And AI agents to me are like meme coins that actually do something. Meme coins meet AI together. They perform a function much more than a meme coin would by itself. Not just artwork, not just community, but say it provides a function like the bots on Twitter that constantly update you about, you know, whales moving money or new projects coming out or what's trending. You know, they all have different specialized applications. But when you combine that AI with the culture and the marketing of memes, I think you have something really explosive there. Because what do memes do better than everything else in crypto? Marketing. How do you sell something that literally does nothing? Well, marketing. And so you combine that with something that actually does provide value, and you got something explosive there. So if you like Cookie DAO, I would also be looking at, hey, Dwayne, how you doing, man? Appreciate you coming in. Please subscribe if you haven't, everybody. We're going to be doing this Monday through Friday. But anyways, we were talking about AI agents and what they are and how marketing of meme coins really meets the functionality and, you know, the product, userability, all of those different things of AI, and provides value. And if you like Cookie DAO, that's what I was going to say. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked by somebody commenting. If you like Cookie DAO, I'd also be looking at what is the next big AI agent. But I wouldn't necessarily, personally, not financial advice, I wouldn't start investing in AI agents right now. I own some from the explosive run that we had, and I'm still holding them. Hopefully they will go back up. It's not a ton. It's about $1,000 worth of AI agents. And I hope this narrative comes back. But look at some other AI agents. When you start seeing the sentiment come back to this niche, we always talk about narrative and communities and niches within the crypto space. AI agents is obviously its own category. When you see the hype come back into that, look for old AI agents that did really well. I think probably the biggest one everybody knows is Fartcoin. I don't really know what Fartcoin does, although I tried to look into it. It seemed really complicated, and you had to buy all kinds of stuff, and I just wasn't going to do that because I didn't really know what it did. But I think most people bought it off of its name, right? All right, I think that's enough for Cookie DAO. Let's hop over and take a look at some other projects. Now, some days I will certainly put together a much more calculated show. Today we're just looking at projects that you might not know here in the trending category. Why are they relevant? Because they're trending. That's why we're looking at them. Notcoin and Dogs, we already kind of broke down. If you're just hopping in, are on the the Toncoin, ecosystem, which is Telegram. Mantra is its own project, and it ran for some time. We'll pull that up real quick. $265.3 million in market cap today. In the last 7 days, it's up 2.8%, and it's number 263 by market cap, sitting at 25 cents, almost 26 cents. Max supply is infinity, Not something I like to see in a project, although I hold Ethereum and a lot of people say Ethereum's max supply is infinite. But the circulating supply, a little over 1 billion coins. Does that mean anything when you don't have a max supply? Not really. You just take your market cap and divide it out of your circulating supply to get the price per coin. That's about all it's good for, in my opinion, when you don't have a max supply. And let's look for their website here. They have all kinds of different links here, from YouTube to Twitter. We could go down a huge rabbit hole with this, but I want to keep it more basic. I want to really, for a while here, I just want to expose you guys to different projects and coins that you may or may not know about and go from there. Yeah, you're welcome, Crypto Keep. I really appreciate you being here. I mean, hey, you're on my first live stream. That name looks really familiar. Are you commonly on Crypto Lifers live streams? How did you find the channel? Did you randomly find my channel? I'd love to know that information. Crypto Keep, your name is really familiar. I think you might be from Crypto Lifer channel, which I love being there in the mornings. Great way to start your day. All right, mantra. Bringing the world's financial ecosystem on chain. Right there, once again, what's the category? What's the niche? What's the narrative? Financial. Mantra is a purpose-built RWA, real world asset, layer 1 blockchain capable of adherence to real world regulation requirements. So obviously, for all of these different things to be tokenized, I don't know if some people saw a lot of the data that came out done by a huge organization of how much is going to be on real world tokenized assets by 2030. And it was something like 6 trillion, I think. I don't think it was 60 trillion because that's a lot of money. I think it was somewhere around 6 trillion. I could be wrong. The point is, it was a lot of money, and they think, and people are speculating, that a lot of money is going to be in RWAs, real world assets, tokenized assets, real things like houses and cars being on the blockchain, tokenized. Imagine if you could take a house and buy it with only having 4 or 5 grand, collectively would say 100 people buy, $400,000 house. Everybody puts in 4 grand. And now you all own a piece, and you could start building a real estate portfolio without even really having a lot of money, which is a pretty cool idea. Oh, you commented on one of my videos. Well, either way, man, I really appreciate you being here. And this hopefully is the community for you. Not to be repetitive, because I might have said it already while you were on here, but this whole reason I started this channel is so that we could have a community of people who deep dive and care about kind of knowing what coins are more than just price goes up. And I think that makes for a smarter speculator, a smarter investor, because you know what you're investing in. People just throw money at the wall a lot of times in this space. Meme coins is a great example, and they wonder why they lose constantly. Well, you probably bought Elon Mars Doge Musk coin, and it flopped in like less than 48 hours. Somebody sucked the liquidity out of it, and then you hate crypto and you tell everybody how crypto sucks. That's where I think a lot of those trolls come from. Anyways, not to get too off topic, mantra, permissionless chain for permissioned applications. Guard module, empowering developers, know your counterparty, low cost and fast, all things you would need. Application first protocol, build on a battle-tested chain. So again, this is infrastructure for financial operations, financial products. What do you think about SNEC? I see Caesar D saying... SNEC is on Cardano, and we will check that out. If you want to stick around, we will check around that in just a second. Let me kind of finish Mantra here. Mantra is a big project. I think most of you guys probably know what Mantra is, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. Really, all you need to know about Mantra is it's for tokenization of real-world assets. I remember when this thing first came out, and I wasn't all that bullish on it because there are so many different financial coins, and then it blew up. And I was like, man, I probably should have invested in that. I'm big on RWA. I love Ondo, stuff like that. I think the technology is going to be huge and revolutionary for the traditional financial world, bringing them into our world and kind of really making both of those worlds one world. So he asked about SNEC. Let's check that out. I don't think that I have... I don't have super chat capabilities. Obviously, brand new channel. Huge respect to anybody who's on here talking on my first live stream. So I'm not, going to probably have people doing super chats for quite some time. I just appreciate you guys being here. And a Discord is going to be coming soon where, you'll have access to ask me questions and things on a daily basis, and hopefully I'll build a nice community of people who are like-minded and you can kind of lean on for different information. Before I get into this SNEC, think about if everybody kind of niched out and went into different ecosystems, what they naturally gravitate to, what they naturally enjoyed. Like for me, I'd probably be in the Binance Smart Chain ecosystem all the time. And then everybody kind of came back to the Discord, came back to the group, shared what they found, shared what they loved playing, if you're looking at gaming or financial, if you're borrowing, all the different moves and things that they're making to better their life, to have fun or build their portfolio. And everybody kind of shared that. And so we kind of all went out, grabbed a bunch of information, filtered it kind of for everybody, and then brought it back into the community. I think that would be super bullish for everybody. I think it would help people make good moves. If you were about to do something and you really weren't sure, maybe you could get some opinions, not financial advice, but you could see what other people would do. That whole not financial advice thing is a tricky thing. I will never tell you what to do with your money. Just know that. So don't even ask. All right. For Caesar here, SNEC. Number 273 by market cap. Not too shabby for a Cardano project. It is a Cardano project, correct? Yes, of course, it is. Got to double check. Sometimes I think I know it, but then I start talking and I could be wrong. $253.3 million in market cap. Again, not too shabby. Honestly, for a project like this, 273 by market cap is not too bad. Honestly, it's got room to grow. I don't really think there's a lot of other... I'm trying to think of any. I know SNEC, and I knew it before you mentioned it. I'm trying to think of other Cardano meme coins projects that are in the same vein, and I really can't think of a lot. I'm gonna have to do some deep diving in the Cardano ecosystem, as I made a reel the other day about. Don't hear a lot of stuff. SNEC was popping for a while, and then kind of stopped hearing about it. So max supply is 76.7 billion tokens. Circulating supply 74.6 billion tokens. I do love the ratio between circulating supply and max supply. There's not a lot of coins to come out on you. Of course, the price, 0.003, seems really low. I'll tell you, in my opinion, personally, I don't think that the price of an asset or a crypto product or project really matters very much. I really don't. I think what matters is market cap, circulating supply, and then, of course, all of the other things about what the project does. Let's hop over to their website. Actually, before we do that, just one thing. Let's go to Max, and let's see when CoinGecko started tracking this. When did it kind of come out? May 21st, 2023. Why is it important when it came out, or the best that we can get here when CoinGecko started tracking it? Because you can see how long a project has been around, and if they've been around a really long time and they've never done anything except for maybe one kind of pump up like here, then you can kind of gauge how well the project is actually doing. With that said, let's hop on over. Agreements and disclosures. Of course we agree. I'm not going to read that. I don't have time for that. They got a dark mode. That is always super appreciated. I like them more just for that. So a meme and a meme coin. Very simple. On the Cardano ecosystem, if you didn't already hear me say that, 41.9 or really almost 42,000 holders. That's really good. 60,000 followers. I don't know if that's across all platforms here. DEX liquidity, 9.3 million. Nice. Is it locked? That's a good question. We just went over the market cap. 24-hour volume, 1.9 million. Not too shabby for something that I'm don't think is super hot right this second. Socials, you can get all their socials about SNEC. So let's talk about SNEC, right? SNEC is the largest token in the Cardano ecosystem. It's what I thought. By market cap and by all-time trading volume, it is a meme coin that stands out by having built an ecosystem of products around its brand. These products include SNEC.fun, a token launchpad. I love to see that they've built things. That is awesome. SNECX, a token minter. SNEC bot, Telegram trading bot. SNEC alerts for X and other, Discord and other places. SNEC energy is an energy drink. Smart idea. I don't know where you could get it. It's not at my 7-Eleven, I'll tell you that, because I'd be trying that, baby. Together, these revenue generating products ensure SNEC's long-term sustainability. SNEC had a fair launch in April 2023 with none of the tokens allocated to team members, VCs, private investors, and has been building on community from the ground up ever since. I'm not sure what the actual full, legitimate definition of a fair launch is, but that sounds like a fair launch to me, and I love to see a project where the VCs don't have all of it. That is awesome. I love that they got so many things going on. This really makes me want to dig in deeper. Makes me want to do a pre-recorded video about SNEC and really maybe dive into some of these other things, although it'd probably be way too long of a video. People would probably tune out at about 10 minutes and it'd be like an hour video. Integrations. So here's all the different places, exchanges that you can get it. It's pretty cool. Let's see, how many people do we still have in here? Looks like 6 people. All right, cool. For the first stream, I thought I was going to be talking to absolutely nobody for an hour. This is much better than I expected. Please subscribe so I can see that you were listening. Hit that subscribe button. And these lives are going to just keep getting better and better. I guarantee it. We're going to get it more tight and more straight to the point. And we will be going over what you want to look at. So it's a place you can come to and kind of pick even my brain about different things. So let's hop back over to CoinGecko and let's see what else we got out there. Oh, we can't skip the coin perspective. So let's look at SNEC. I do love the coin perspective has so many coins usually. It's usually pretty easy to find the coin you want. Of course I say that and now I don't see it. That's cool. Did I spell it wrong? No, I spelled it right. You're welcome, Caesar. For sure. I appreciate you being here, man. Monday through Friday at 8:30 every night. I don't know what that is your time. It's 8:30 here on what would be like New York time. I'm in Florida. Now, before we get off of SNEC, I'd like to look at it over here at the Coin Perspective. I don't know if you're familiar with this website, but I'm getting all kinds of stuff. Base SNEC, Bob the SNEC, ETH the SNEC. What? I want just regular SNEC though, man. Why do they got to do this to me? Huh. All right. I apologize about that. It looks like I'm not going to be able to pull that one up. I've found so many tiny coins on here. There it is. They just weren't letting me click it. They weren't letting me see it. Scroll down far enough. So, of course, the ultimate speculation, Bitcoin. All right, it's not letting me click on that. It's like, no, that'll never happen. You're not even allowed to click on that. Ethereum? Okay, that's hilarious. Okay, now they let me click on it. So the ultimate of speculation, Bitcoin's market cap would give you like a $30 SNEC, and they would be almost a 9,000x. That would be bananas. Don't get your hopes up on that one. So let's think of another meme coin. Dogecoin's the king of the meme coins, right? Can SNEC get to 29.7 billion? My personal opinion is no. I don't think it can do that. But if it did, it'd be at about 39 cents, almost 40 cents, right? For a 116x. Here, let me ask you, Caesar, and give you a minute to reply. What is a meme coin that you think is relative or similar, that's bigger than SNEC, that it could actually go to market cap wise? and I will try to find another one. Shiba's smaller. Shiba's only a $7 billion market cap. Maybe that's a little more reasonable. Where were we at right now for SNEC? Let me hop back over to that. What was its market cap? I've said so many different projects' market caps at this point that I don't even remember. Okay, 253.3. So $1 billion in market cap would be pretty big move there. It'd only be about a 3x to almost a penny and a half to get to $1 billion in market cap. A little more there because I just left the other numbers that was already there. So $1 billion, $2 billion, again, very similar to the other project we were talking about. I think really, really bullish. Cardano is very hot at the end of the bull market for some reason. They do something, get a lot of marketing. $2 billion in market cap, which would give you almost a 7x to about a little over 2.5 cents. And yeah, you would about 7x your money, depending on when you got in, of course. My personal opinion, Pepe. Yeah, Pepe's a good one. Let me do that before I say what I was going to say. Pepe. Caesar, are you really into the Cardano ecosystem? And I hold some Cardano for sure, so I wouldn't say that I am against that at all. But what drew you to SNEC? Why did you want to look at SNEC? Probably because you're invested in it. That would make a lot of sense. Anyways, Pepe has got a $4.2 billion market cap. That would make you about a little over 5.5 cents for SNEC at about a 16x. If everything goes right for Cardano ecosystem, I'm not going to say that I think $4.2 billion is out of the question. I think that it's definitely a hard one to have pull off because you'd need everything to go right. You'd need Cardano to be super trendy and sexy with retail, a lot of people buying Cardano, and then going farther to speculate on SNEC as the number one meme coin of the ecosystem. I think that's going to be a hard one to pull off. I think $2 billion is probably going to be a hard one to pull off. What I was going to say before I saw your Pepe comment, SNEC's not necessarily my favorite because of follow the attention that's following the money, and Cardano ecosystem doesn't seem to be that hot yet. But they do tend to move in kind of rallies, and it seems to be Solana's day right now. And Avalanche and a couple other ecosystems, Base, blockchain. I would probably be way more bullish on SNEC if it was on Base blockchain. If it was the Coinbase ecosystem, I'd probably be more bullish. A lot of people, are back and forth on the founder of Cardano. In all fairness, a lot of people hope that Cardano would have really moved a lot farther, a lot faster. Again, I'm not against Cardano. I hold Cardano, and I really hope that it's able to do something. But in a world that's so competitive and moves so fast in the space of crypto, it does seem like a lot of other competitors have come into the game and really kind of beat Cardano at their own game. And there's so many different arguments that we could go to about that, right? Cardano claims that they like to take the slow road and really make sure everything is working well. The very opposite of Ethereum, which Charles was involved with. If you know the story, he was involved with Ethereum, and they kind of threw everything together to try to just have it going, and they didn't take their time. And when he made Cardano, he really tried to do the opposite of that, which is super respectable and hopefully means that it's around for a really long time. Won't harp on that too much. Let's refresh this. I guess I did because I just did it. And Bitcoin still sitting at about 113,500, that is. See what we got for the top gainers of the day. And there's a coin that I kind of wanted to show everybody at the end of the stream. I don't know anything about it. Somebody was really, hyping it up on social media, which means nothing. But I wanted to check it out because they were talking about its circulating supply being really small like Bitcoin. Troll up 92%. It's pretty crazy. The market overall is kind of trending down when the highest 24-hour, return in top gainers is 100%. A 1x on this MYX finance, which we already did go over. And even if it's not perfect, guys, I hope I have the Discord link for you guys in tomorrow's show, and we can start, for the few of you that are here, we can start kind of maybe going over there and chatting when I'm not live and get to know each other better and start to build this community. So you got Troll, which was up 92%, GX Chain up 71%, Darkstar up 27%, and look at that drop, from the third highest, 71.6%, down to 27.7%. Again, that the market is downtrending. Useless Coin, the top loser of the day. Boy, who could have pictured that, right? Who could have possibly have believed that Useless Coin was going to be the most down coin? For some reason, that makes me really want to look at it. I just want to go to their website, letsbonk.fun. There you go. It's Solana ecosystem. It is the launch pad for Bonk. I'm pretty sure that's what Let's Bonk is. I would not connect my wallet here, although I'm sure this is legitimate, honestly. Not the coin, but the platform. Let me make that very clear. And the token is migrated, so maybe that's why it's way down. All right, let's get out of this. For if somebody thinks that was a good investment there. Close out some of these tabs. All right, Illuvium. How many people know about Illuvium? Anybody? One of my favorite things that when I got into crypto, again, was Binance Smart Chain, was play to earn gaming. Man, I had some great games I made a lot of money on. And I had some games I invested way too much money and totally lost. And by a lot of money to me, maybe $150 or something like that. But a lot to invest on a little, Binance Smart Chain game. Illuvium, though, was always in that circle, right? It is Ethereum. It's not Binance Smart Chain. Let me make that clear. And you can see this huge spike. I mean, think about it. At one point, Illuvium was worth $1,800 per token, per unit, per asset, right? Still got a market. Oh, let's do that. Let's see what the market cap was back then. That would be so interesting. Boy, they made it super small. So it's very hard to hone in on. We'll just get roughly. There we are. So it had a market cap of really $1.1 billion. And now its market cap is $195.8 million. Wow. I don't know of a lot of projects other than maybe some rug pulls, but I've never seen a rug pull coin get to $1 billion in market cap. Probably should research it before I say something like that, but that is a huge, huge loss. And then they had this other run back to about 8. Oh, I'm still at market cap. Let's go back to price. Well, where did it go? So the market cap went up, but the price didn't go up? That's really weird. How is that even possible? That the market cap would go way back up, but the price would just be flat. It looks like this little action here. All right, that's very weird. I don't want to waste too much time on that. Total supply and circulating supply. There's really 9.5 million tokens. That is such a tiny supply. No wonder why it got so expensive so fast. All right, circulating supply, 9.4. So almost all the coins are out in circulation. I own like 2 Illuvium. But that's not really what I thought was exciting. That's not really why I wanted to talk about Illuvium. I wanted to talk about Illuvium because of their game that they built. I don't know if it's out yet. It probably is. I know that I signed up for, the pre-trial, the beta. I don't think that they ever let me in. Arena is an 8-player auto battler. When I first saw Illuvium, what I really thought was Pokemon. That's what I first thought. I thought it was a great idea. When it comes to play to earn gaming, I don't know if any of you guys are gamers, but the idea that you could own, that sword, that shield, that clothing or that armor, and actually be able to own it, like you get something super rare and it's like linked to your account in the game, and you could sell it to another player for like, now all of a sudden you could play to earn in the game, but you could also just grind equipment and sell it. You could be a real merchant in the game and make a lot of money. That would be really awesome. I love the idea of play to earn gaming communities and ecosystems where there's potential to make a lot of money. Let's see. I don't think this is their regular website here. But I was really hoping for more of a free world, free realm kind of game. And I'm not sure if that's what they built. Maybe they're still working on a lot of that. Play for free, overworld. I feel like this game, this looks like some cool play. Okay, so it is kind of free realm. I think that I might deep dive into this a little bit and see how good it is or isn't. And maybe we'll do, a stream about this as far as play to earn gaming. One of my, like I said, things that I love and I want to get back into. If people remember the summer of DeFi, where a lot of these things were huge, if you were there for that, put a thumbs up in the chat. But that was really an awesome time to be into crypto. It really was. All right, I don't want to spend too much time on that. I don't know if anybody cares about that. I could look at their website and get back into it for hours. I don't want to do that to you guys. And we were only supposed to go to 9:30. I think I'll probably go another 15 minutes. Let's see how many people are still here. Current viewers 4, so we lost a couple of people. Might be a good time to drop out myself. I'll go for at least another 5 minutes here. Let's see what else we got as far as top gainers of the day. Normally you would be seeing like several projects over 100%, and we'd be clicking on them and going to see what they are. Let's check out Troll. Troll number 332 by market cap. I'm sure you could imagine what Troll is. Looks like they started tracking it April 20th, 2025. Let's go to the monthly. And you can see it started this parabolic run. And the market cap's only $184.3 million in market cap. In my opinion, a ton of room to run. And look at it on the monthly, up almost 1,000%, sitting at about a high 17 cents, almost 18 cents. It's pretty great if you, for whatever reason, got into this. Of course, Solana. It's troll coin, so you can imagine what they're all about. Trolling. A troll, someone who annoys others on the internet. I don't think we needed to know what the definition of troll was, because I think everybody knows what that is. Origin. We're going to get videos. Low-key scared to play this. Might get trolled just trying to watch the video about what troll is. Some guy, he's a loser. He's walking around moping. Looks in a bucket. Don't know why I'm narrating this, but I am. Finds what? A t-shirt? Now he's a troll and he turns into a troll. That's hilarious. And a troll was born. Well, that was rather empty, honestly. Now he's a troll and he's roaming the city. And you could say that you always turn other people into trolls. You could say this is stupid, but it's up 1,000%. Somebody made a ton of money off of this. Hopefully they're not going to suck the liquidity out. All right, you get the gist of it. We're not going to spend too much time on that. Trollcoin up 1,000% in the last month. Good for it. Don't know, you see these coins way up. Other than people just throwing money on pump.fun, who's getting into these coins early? I would really love to know that. Let's go to the 3-month. Oh, it's actually up less on the 3-month. That's very interesting. All right, if anybody is still watching me, throw a comment. so that I know that somebody is still here. This is my first live stream. No secret about that. I've said it over and over. So I kind of expected to talk to a room full of nobody. But honestly, this is what I love. This is what I love to do all the time, and that's why I do it. And so I'd be doing this if nobody was here. Over time, hopefully we can get some more viewers. It's about to hit 9:50 where I'm at. Been streaming a little over an hour. I'm going to go ahead and probably hop off. But I appreciate everybody who was here. I'm going to hopefully have a Discord, and if not tomorrow, maybe the next day, have a Discord ready for you guys. And we're going to go from there. Thank you, Sourced and Sold. See, you're still here. Let's hop over. It says we got 4 viewers. Current viewers are 2, actually. It says 2 different things. Which one is it? All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. Crypto Ron signing out. Have a good night, everybody. I will catch you later. And that would be tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. New York time.